Hello, it's me, the Germ, joined by Ghosty.
We're back.
No boo this time. I was ready to poop
Boo.
myself and everything. God dang it.
Surprise.
uh, so like, yeah, we're on episode. What is this? 5? Yeah, 5.
Five. Yeah.
Yep.
I had to go through and really make sure I was watching the right one. I know at some point I'm gonna watch the wrong episode and be like, I don't remember any of that stuff.
There's a fair
Yes,
chance.
episode 5.
I'd always try to have the name of the next episode at the when we end, so that's an easy way to double check. But remember,
Oh, that's true. That helps. Yeah. Next time.
shall we jump in the synopsis so we can talk about the episode?
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about this one again.
Ooh.
Let's get into it.
Okay. Let me just get everything all set up here. Step right up and have a look. It's time for Yamabachi.
Shibai.
Yamashibai. Someday I'll get that right. Someday. The episode's title is The Next Floor. Here we are with a family at the shopping mall. Shopping for their son's birthday present. We meet the son, bawling his eyes out, with his father apologizing for having to leave for work. The mother cuts in saying, "Father's work is more important to him, and let's celebrate by ourselves."
Roasted.
The father calls her on this, and the mother asks if she's wrong. He blows her off, backing into the elevator, saying, "Bye."
What a jerk.
No spoilers on your thoughts of the episode. He thinks to himself, she should just give him a break, noticing the lady in yellow at the front of the elevator.
She's looking like the man in the yellow hat from Curious George.
There's no monkeys in this one, though. And he thinks to himself, that's one gloomy elevator girl. While she asks out loud if anyone's getting off on this floor. The father notices the lights aren't working, and she calls out, "B4!" But there's only 2 Bs on this elevator. The doors open to reveal a shadow-filled floor. You can barely see anything past the doors. The other passengers get off on this dark floor, leaving only him and the gloomy girl. The next floor is covered in red lights, and she says out loud, "B13!" He looks out onto the red floor. He hears a gasp and scuffling feet. Someone, or something, comes running for the elevator, but the door closes before they make it. He demands...
hate when that happens.
I know, right? Someone closes the door on you when you're screaming and gasping. He demands, "What's going on?" And, "You saw that, didn't you?" He yells at her, grabbing her shoulder. She falls down. Just a mannequin on the elevator floor.
Dun dun dun.
The door opens again, and it's a sun-filled floor. He takes a breath, saying, "Oh, I'm safe." He jumps the mannequin, running out of the elevator. He notices the hallways are empty. And then a chime plays. The store lights start to turn off. The darkness almost running towards him. A girl's voice comes over the shopping mall speakers. "Thank you for shopping with us today. The store will be closing shortly." The elevator doors start to close, and the gloomy mannequin, now back on her feet, says, please be sure to enjoy your time alone." He begged her not to go. Just before the doors shut, taking the last of the light with them, the mannequin opens an eye, leering at him from just inside the elevator. The end.
I feel like this last scene was so unnecessary.
I know. Yeah, now that you mention it, you were right.
It was like everything was wrapping up nicely. It was like, nah, we need to make it interesting. We need the jump scare.
I don't even know if I'd call it I guess a little bit of it's just a jump scare.
Yeah, I guess just like an extra little creep on the end there.
But now that you mention it, it would be a lot better if we never saw, we just saw her standing back up and closing the door.
I don't necessarily know if it'd be better. I just feel like it wasn't really needed to personify her. We already kind of knew.
Yeah. And that eye's not very gloomy, so he's not accurate.
True. Looks kind of out of place. One thing I wanted to mention was that an elevator girl is apparently a thing that exists in fancy stores and stuff, and her whole job is you just tell her what floor you want to go to.
I didn't
I
know
want to
this.
go to 6th floor, and she'll push the 6th floor button.
Oh, thank
That's the whole
goodness.
job.
They wouldn't be able to do it themselves. Too much money they're holding on to.
I guess, yeah, maybe the idea is you're holding shopping bags or something. I never thought of that. I thought it was to exert control over another human.
This seems like it. In the old days, they did used to have like elevator boys, I think it was.
Same idea, yeah.
But that's because elevator controls used to be really complicated. And
maybe this is like a holdover from that, yeah.
It could be from a fancier time. Is there anything you want to mention before we go over my notes of the episode?
I mean, nothing that specific, I guess. What would you have written down?
Neither of the parents seemed like good people to me.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
If your husband is like a dodging jerk, you probably shouldn't say it in front of the kid in any case.
Yeah, like no matter what, she shouldn't bring it up in front of the kid.
Do you think he actually had to work, or do you think he did just want to be alone?
That's a good question. I think the ending line, like "enjoy your time alone," kind of hints that that he did want to be alone.
Yeah, and when he gets in the elevator, he says, "Finally alone," or something along the lines of that.
I could see,
which is weird.
Yeah, I could see someone saying that line if he was heading to work, but he just wanted to break.
Yeah, that's the kind of vibe I got too. But then it's weird to dodge your kid on their birthday.
It wasn't their birthday. They were buying presents for his birthday, which of course you bring your kid along with.
But I thought that the implication would be that it was his birthday.
Maybe
he was there.
That makes it extra worse.
Yeah, not good.
But like, don't get me wrong. Like she might be frustrated at him for always leaving or maybe not being there. But just doing it in front of the kid is not a good sign.
Maybe he does it a lot, and she's just getting sick of it.
It could be. We don't see enough of this situation, but it didn't give me a very good impression of her.
Yeah, neither one, for sure.
That's why I have neither of the parents. So do you want to hear something interesting?
What's that?
The person on the red floor looked a lot like our character.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. Maybe there's some kind of time loop. Maybe they're just reusing the character model. He does look a lot like the character. What's the shirt? Light blue, go back.
Oh, sorry. Wrong way.
Yeah.
It's very similar.
Maybe it's just supposed to be like generic business, like working man.
To me, it feels on purpose.
There's lots of them.
It could easily just be like generic. But even the hair is super similar.
Yeah, it looks a lot like him.
Yeah. So I want to note that I did notice this myself, but there were comments that also had it as well.
I was surprised when it was a person running out of the darkness. I was wondering where they were going to take it.
Yeah.
Rather than a monster.
I do appreciate it being a person. I think it's more interesting.
Yeah, me too. The human element is like more horrific to me. It's like, oh, there's a guy, he's trapped down there and he's never going to escape.
Oh, yeah. That's... Oof.
Yeah.
Look at this. Like, oh my God. I found it weird. Like, he saw a sun-filled floor and he was like, oh boy. And he like jumped the mannequin and ran out.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he was freaked out, right? Like, how
there
deep
was no one there.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, if I saw an empty floor, I'd be just as suspicious as a dark floor.
Do you think you'd be able to get out of it if you stayed on the elevator, though? I don't know.
That's a fair point. I wonder what the other people represent. I never thought about this before this second.
Yeah, I don't really know either. If he would have got off with them, would he have been okay? What? That part kind of made no sense, actually.
Because they do get off on a dark floor. None of them seem to notice.
They want to... It's representing people going to work. And they're all zombies.
It could just be for the atmosphere as well.
Yeah.
It could be the dead.
They're other, like, spirits. Yeah.
Getting off on the first floor instead of the bottom floor, right?
Those are the ones that spend time with their kids. They're going to heaven.
They get to spend it on a dark floor instead of...
A dark floor slightly closer to the sun rather than the dark floor.
So I have an article. I just took a picture of it.
See it?
because this might be based on a real urban legend.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. The article's from a website called The Ghost in My Machine. It's an urban legend I had heard before.
I've
Uh,
never heard of this.
it basically like you press a certain, you go in a certain pattern of elevator floors, and supposedly you'll end up in a different like world or dimension.
How do you know the pattern?
I think it just goes along with the urban legend, right? Like knowing the code.
Oh, I see. So you accidentally, either you accidentally or you're one of the people that knows.
Yeah.
You press the elevator floors and then the doors open and you're in some secret place.
It's like the urban legend I've heard. I'm sure since it's urban legend, I'm sure there's many versions. Is
Mhm.
that you'll end up on a pitch black floor with a window at the end, and you go up to the window, and you'll see an empty city that's perpetually in red, like a red sunset.
Ah, it's like exactly like this, except minus the window.
Yeah, like there's a that's why I said it might be based on that because there's a lot of similarities.
Nice. I'm gonna think about this every time I take an elevator now.
Maybe like B7, 8, 4, 3, 3 again. Who
I'll give it a
knows?
try.
It's really funny. You can actually see it on the picture I took of this article.
Mhm.
They say you shouldn't. Where was it?
Yeah,
You
it's simply
never.
not safe.
Yeah, you were never recommended to play. It's simply not safe.
They're very serious about this. The implications.
Just in case. Well, shout out to the person who made this, Luca, Lucia, Lucia.
Lucia? I say
Lucia,
Lucia.
Lucia. Thank you
Is
for
that
that
their
person.
first name or their last name?
No
Who
idea.
knows? Thank you for the advice that it's not recommended to play the elevator game. I'm going to do it anyway.
And since it's highlighted, it has nothing to do with our episode. Do you remember the Momo challenge?
Oh yeah, that was like a viral trend that wasn't actually viral, but then by the news thinking it was like a real trend,
Yeah.
it became a thing.
What was
totally
it like?
forgot about
You send a message to this ghost, and they'll send you a creepy photo, which I found the creepy photo hilarious.
Yeah, it was like kind of like a bird thing.
Yeah, it was like a bird. That's a good description. It was a
Yeah.
person like turned into like it's like sharp
Yeah, yeah.
nose.
Yeah, that was weird. I forgot about that. Kind of after our time as kids, luckily.
Yeah.
Horrific.
I only remember it just now because it has previously on the Momo challenge.
I forgot about it completely.
I was like, "What is that? That sounds familiar." And I clicked it. It's like, "Oh, this BS." So the next one's a comment. Urhika? Now he's gonna be late for work.
Maybe his job is dark.
Being late. Yeah, oh yeah, just standing in a dark
inspector.
mall. Yeah.
Yeah, you never know.
That's funny.
It's kind of like a security guard.
Yukita? Yeah, that's why I shop online. Yeah, this wouldn't happen if they shopped online.
Other urban legends can still get you. You might open the box and it'll be like something horrific.
What if you go to a certain web address and then another web address and then another web address?
Yeah, you open up a void. You get stuck inside the computer.
No! Oh, you're gonna like the next one. Inklid. I'm gonna guess that's pronounced. It's a hidden one. You ready?
Spooky.
From now on, I'll just take the stairs. And
stairs are actually more dangerous than elevators, though, because you're way more likely to fall.
But there's no urban legends about them putting you in a ghost dimension.
That's true.
It'd also be a lot harder to go to floor. Okay, now I go up to B7.
Yeah, that's true. You definitely know if you went down that low.
And that's the last comment. Not too many good ones on this one.
Oh, that surprises me. I thought there'd be more comments like analyzing the deeper meaning. You didn't see many?
Not many.
Oh.
Like I try to get like a gist of what's going on. There were some people talking about how it was the same guy in the elevator and out, but it's something I had already looked into and realized myself, so it didn't feel fair.
Like you discovered it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly jokes, I guess. But I thought there was a lot of metaphors to this episode.
Not many people talk. There's not a lot of people talking philosophy normally, anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it and move on.
So I didn't feel like I had any good themes or metaphors. Let's hear what yours are, and we'll go over mine after.
Well, I mean, it's very on the nose,
Yeah.
but the absent father, kind of just like receiving society's wrath or something.
Yeah. I have don't waste your time. Don't waste your time with your family, and don't be selfish.
Yeah, pretty much. It was like watching his punishment for being a bad dad.
Bad dad, bad dad. Before we get to personal scores, or anything else you want to go over?
I thought it was also kind of interesting, the implication that this has happened to a lot of other people.
Yeah.
So I guess it was saying just in general to make sure you appreciate your time and be grateful rather than always trying to work or be alone.
Or maybe it's about divorce.
Oh, yes. The void is divorce. That's so good. Yes. They're together and it's light, and then he separates, and all that's left
And
is a dark
a
void in the world.
girl dressed up all nicely is the one who takes him there.
Whoa, that's so good. That's what it is.
I don't think it's what
And
it
then
is.
it turns out
but it's
she
fun.
wasn't there the whole time. It was all an illusion in his imagination.
He's just getting a divorce.
Yeah. He gets ghosted.
It's very possible. It just
Yeah, I
occurred
like
to me
that a
now.
lot.
That's fun. I don't think it's what it means, but I think it's fun.
That's what I choose.
I choose to believe in what I want.
I really like this episode, though. It was my favorite, actually, so far.
Can I hear your score first?
Yeah. Mine is 10.
10. Wow, you love this episode.
That was awesome. It's a very good episode. Like, I thought it was the creepiest, too, because, like, the human element.
I rated it a 5.
Whoa, we're on opposite ends. Oh,
Don't
it's
get
the
me wrong.
first time this has happened.
I enjoy this episode. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think it's anything special.
Maybe I'm pulling out the 10 too early, but I liked it more than the 9.
No,
I thought
there's-
I liked that it didn't rely on like ghosts and creepy stuff as much.
Yeah.
It used more of like a human suffering element, which to me is creepier.
Oh, that's cool.
And there's also like an air of mystery to it. Like, who are the other people stuck on these dark floors? Like, what's going on here? Like all that kind of stuff that the other ones don't leave quite as much as that.
I feel like I enjoyed it more listening to you talk about it. But like I didn't enjoy it as much as you did.
I also like our divorce conspiracy theory.
That did make it a lot more fun. Okay. So with your score of 10 and my score being 5 means that the episode number is let me do the math here. Calculus. I have to find the charts. 15.
Where does that put it on our ranking?
It puts it.
You pulled it down.
Number 3. I did pull it down.
Yeah, I pulled it up to the mid-range. I feel like I brought out the 10 too early, but we'll see.
Oh, you have to go by how much you enjoy it. Like,
Yeah,
as your
that's true.
first time viewing it. For the record, it's between Hair, which was the last episode we watched, which is above it, and below it is The Talisman Woman, which is the first episode.
That one was not great.
It's like, it's okay.
Mid, very mid.
Yep. I love that our scores are so different. We had something to talk about.
Yeah, I'm glad that's the first time that's happened. If we agreed all the time, it'd be boring.
I'm surprised how it's nice to be so different, but it's just surprising.
Oh, I will say,
Yeah.
I was surprised that when I was talking next week, or last week, I mean,
Yeah.
about the next floor being about elevators, I was actually right.
Oh yeah,
So-
you nailed it.
So yeah, props to me. Let me toot my own horn here.
10 out of 10
Got
any day.
It was actually kind of similar to the Shyamalan movie.
It is similar to the Shyamalan movie, except there's no toast.
Yeah. You never know.
Maybe there's toast hidden under the floorboards. So the next episode is called
Alright,
The Overhead Rack.
The overhead rack. They're going on a road trip, and something goes terribly wrong. Something's in the overhead rack.
If you like this episode, I'm going to bet you're going to love the next one.
I've got high expectations now.
Because
I can't rate it another 10. I can't just give out 10s like candy.
Judge it based on what you see, right?
Yeah.
I have a note that says be ready for the next one. Be ready for the next one. It's a doozy.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I get my expectations high.
So for the record, based on the comments, it's not a guarantee you're going to like it.
Oh, interesting. It's
Yeah.
polarizing.
Yeah.
That gives me even higher expectations. All the best art has to be hated by some people.
So some spoilers for the next episode. It's polarizing. I won't tell you which way I go until we get there.
I feel like you're going to be on the liking side if you're surprised by the disliking comments.
But keep in mind, I was on the lower end of this one.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I did not expect you to be that low. So
I was surprised you're that high, but that's great. Thank you very much for joining us.
It's been fun. See you next time. Episode 6.
Thank you for being you, everyone.